up? Hey, what's up, all? I am live. Hi. We are in our final part where I got all the rest of the package for my computer. Well, I think. There's a thing that I don't know if the power supply works. Now, I know the power supply is super quiet because the 1200 watt power supply. Um, and let me just readjust this. There we go. And the problem with those power supplies is you can't tell if they're running or not unless there's a load on it, and even then it's hard to tell. So I need to test the power supply. I also am going to be opening up the packages here, um, here, and I got another package in here, which is my RAM kit. So we're going to be doing that first, and then we'll be doing the testing to make sure the power supply actually works. Because if the power supply doesn't work, and I'm doing this now so I can be set for when I do the live stream PC building, that way I know whether it's good or not. Hey Ayla, hi Sis Lover, hi Angel, welcome everyone, and featuring the stream, welcome. Thank you guys for watching this series. So this is the third installment, and I'll be making a short version of these eventually when I get my computer up and running. Until then, so this is officially the most expensive RAM I've ever purchased in my life, right? I paid almost $1,000 for this kit, 64 gigabytes. Why? Because of the dumb AI crisis, and so this is precious. I wanted to get 64 gigabytes because there's actually no legit benefit of going past 64 gigabytes for video editing, especially when you're doing 4K or even 8K. Now, if you were doing 12K, fine. But, like, YouTube doesn't even allow 12K footage. And it's stupid. So this PC build is actually going to be very special because it will allow me to do a solid 8K editing experience. My Ryzen 9 5950X actually allows me already to do 8K editing flawlessly, might add, no stuttering, no hiccups, but it's not on full quality. This gives me about 40% more power. Yes, CPU has a bigger effect than GPU when it comes to rendering and editing videos. Surprising. I actually did a sleuth test, several months ago, where I was testing different and I had like GPUs ranging from the 1660 to the 3060 to the 4060 to the 3080 to the 3090. And the difference between all those GPUs were less than like 10%. That's crazy. So maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Maybe I did the test wrong. But the software I use is a hey, welcome to the stream, Sakuni. Am I pronouncing that name right? I'm gonna call you Sai. I'm gonna call you Sai from Naruto. Sai is just so much easier. Hi. But like, yeah, maybe I'm just taking it the wrong way. But anyway, back to the editing software I use is Vegas Pro, and Vegas has improved a lot since the first one. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I get that a lot. Hi, Red. Welcome to the stream. And Vegas has improved a lot from Vegas Pro 14, which is the first one that I had, all the way up to Vegas Pro 2023, which is the one I own now. I own Vegas Pro 14, I own Vegas Pro 16, I own it 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, and 23. So I'm into the Vegas ecosystem, and I have multitudes of their softwares in terms of the full suite, both versions of the 19 series, the 19th, and the other ones. Because while they're not perfect, they're not Adobe or DaVinci by any means regarding to the actual ability and rendering speeds, because DaVinci is super light and easy to use. So anyway, yeah, it might just be the software limitation itself, and that could be a legit reason. DaVinci and Adobe are really well suited for multitudes of GPUs and CPU combinations, while maybe Vegas may not be to that level because it's not as popular. It's popular, but not that extreme. This is my very, 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 very heavy radiator. So let me just show you the radiator I have right now, right? So you guys have a comparison. It's tiny. Now I think that's the. Is this the 420? This might be the 420. This has a 6-year warranty also, but this cost me a lot. Look at that. So this is the okay. Stop. So this is the rate. Oops. Yeah. So this is the radiator I have, the Asus Ryogen 1. This is the first one Asus made back in 2022, 2021, 2021, and 2022. And this is a beast. This is crazy powerful. So when I did the test, this was on par with my is that in here? And then this is the radiator screen. This is on par with the Noctua NHD 15. Now, as you guys know, Noctua NHD 15 came out back in 2015 or 2016. Don't quote me on the dates. But oh no, you're good, Jonathan. You're all good. But it beat that CPU tower cooler by about 3 degrees Celsius. Now, that's not much. It's not. It's nothing to gloat about. It's nothing impressive. 3 degrees Celsius won't make a big difference in terms of overall performance. But the idle temperatures I averaged was about 37 degrees, which is incredible. Which I can't achieve in Noctua Cool. Now, the Noctua NHD version 2 that they made 2 years ago, no, last year, they made last year, destroys my radiator, an air tower cooler. But that's $160. But this radiator I have here is $450. So, hey Electro, how you doing? Oh nice, congratulations, Jonathan. Congratulations. So the pros and cons of a radiator versus, and this is an AIO, meaning all-in-one cooler, cooler, and the pros and cons of AIOs versus air coolers is air coolers last way longer. They can last you 20 to 30 years. Now, do most people have computers for 20 or 30 years? No, they don't. While AIOs can last you upwards of about 5 to 10 years. This has a 6-year warranty actually on it, so this is guaranteed for at least 6 years, which is wild. I think my old radiator only had a warranty of like 3 years, and for a radiator to have a warranty of 6 years, they did something correct. I don't know what Asus did. I don't know the magic behind it. I don't know what the claims are regarding to that warranty, and I also don't know what that warranty is covering. But that's a massive jump. Oh, nice. Oh, that's so cute. It has paw beans. Oh, puppies. Dude, I'm wearing my socks to say fuck me. Still wearing that. They're not PG socks. So let's go ahead and do a deeper unboxing of this because I am really excited. Um, and the reason also I'm buff is because I do 35 push-ups and I do want to read minds. And no, I don't want to read people's minds. Oh yeah, please send photos, please, please, please. I'll look at them later. Um, and is that why you? Oh, I see it, Electro. I see the message you sent. You pinged me. Um, so this is massive. Okay, so this is a 360 radiator. I can tell you by the fan size of these. This is a 120 by 120, and there's 3 of them, so this is a 360 rad. This could actually, the case I have in there can accommodate a 420. So pretty nice, actually. Really nice. I'm gonna close this door because my room is messy, partially because I have a lot of components. And stop staring at my tummy. No, you can stare at my tummy. We can have a tummy stare today. I don't mind. I don't really care that people, you know, I'm sure some of you guys focus on my looks more than what I'm doing. And that's fine. That's why I'm shirtless. You know what? I'll take either people caring about my content or my looks. I'm okay with either one. Okay. Thank you, Electro. So, I am going to be making one giant video on all this. So, I'm really excited. This is outlandishly heavy. It's not even... It may be the package. It might be. But, this is massive. This is a 6.7 inch, 6.6 inch screen, bro. You have any idea how big the screen I have on there? That's like a what? 2-inch screen on my computer? It's so big. It's not even close. Now, does this slide? Because I don't want to actually tear the package. If I can't figure it out, I'm just gonna open it. Ooh. Oh, I ruined the package. It's the box. Do you guys know why I keep all this? Is because it allows me to remember every single one of my builds off the top of my head. Going from a... Ooh, okay, this way. My first CPU ever. I did a live stream about this a while ago. My first CPU was a Intel i5 6400, and going from that to Ryzen 9 9950X. Editing a 720p video to an 8K video. That gives you an idea of how powerful that jump is. Going from 720p 60 FPS gaming all the way to 4K average of 90 FPS. That's what my current build is. Actually, 100 FPS. Okay, I misspoke. And that's on a 3090. 3090, keep that in mind. Now, we're talking about game titles back before 2023. More modern game titles will give you less FPS. Excluding Flight Simulator and Simulator games because they aren't fair and they're complete bullshit. They don't fit with modern specs. Fucking Flight Simulator like 2021? RTX 5090 struggles with that. Going 4K, you can't get 4K 100 FPS on Flight Sim with a 5090. You just can't. It's unrealistic. This is the beast. That is the curved screen. I got this because of... Seems massive. It's light, but it's massive stuff. Can you use the cable something? Wait, can you actually just like... Why would you just want to like... Why is the cable so big? This is like what is it? It's several feet long. Who who asked for a cable to be? Okay, maybe I'm missing something. Asus. When you designed this, this is the AIO all-in-one cooler, meaning the liquid is actually inside the cooling unit, and so it doesn't disperse and it doesn't. You don't have to refill it. But I'm trying to figure out like who had the thought of making a cable that's 3 feet long. It's like 4 feet. Oh, I have a hickey. Oh, I got a hickey in my arm. I just realized that. I gotta tell my friend. Yeah, this is like 4 feet long. This is a 4-foot cable. Why they chose it to be 4 feet long? No fucking idea. 3 feet makes more sense than 4 feet. I can tell it's about 4. I can tell you it's more than 3 feet because it goes past my arm, and most arms are from shoulder to like hands are about 3 feet. So 4-foot cable. Why? No fucking idea. So random. So random. They give you a nice screen installation guide. That's nice. Okay. I wonder if you can install this in like. That's so bizarre. Oh, okay, I'm trying to figure out like why you'd have a 4-foot cable for this purpose. This, I want to say this is accessory box. Oh no, yep, this is accessory box. So this is. Oh wow. They really went all out with this. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow, this is fucking gorgeous. This is the mounting kit for it. This is a double-sided tape for something. I don't know quite sure. And I almost want to like keep. Oh, this is the instructions for it. Radiator screws in here. So you got radiator screws. You got Intel plastic collars. I don't have Intel, so this is irrelevant, and I don't plan on using Intel. While Intel is coming out with a 2852 core CPU. Why 52 core? I don't know what made them go with an odd, with a weird integer when it came to 2852. And for that matter of fact, I don't know what Intel was thinking regarding to doing a 2432 core CPU. That's also weird. I get there's P cores and E cores. I get that Intel, but what makes you think that, you know? Why couldn't you do 2448 and just split them evenly? Like what? A lot of this makes no sense to me in how they designed their CPU layouts. But I do know we have hints that from AMD's current release that their new CPUs are about 24% faster per core performance. Now these are the lower end CPUs, but 24% faster per core for performance is what happened in 2016 to 2017. If you guys look up AMD and Intel battle, what happened in that year, specifically 2016, 2017, after 2017, where AMD destroyed Intel in their CPU battle. That's what we're kind of looking at here now with the per core performance leap from a 10-core AMD CPU that they're coming out shortly with next year. So that's my guess. They discovered something new, and I can't. There's something in my head. Hey, Wolves, welcome to the stream. There's something in my head that's telling me that Apple had something to do with this. I could be wrong, but because of what Apple did regarding to the chiplets actually and all the controllers being on one CPU die and GPU being on one, there's something that AMD and Intel had an idea, and it may not be directly because of Apple, but competition all of a sudden started. because Apple has been decimating Intel and AMD on both desktop and CPU platforms in performance, and it's not even close. Now, if we're comparing price to performance, Intel and AMD still win. They do. But that's not to say that Apple, just raw performance destroys Intel and AMD on both sides. Now, server side, no, Apple will never do server sides. That's not their goal. I think that's a bad idea for Apple to get invested in server side. I think Apple needs to be on consumer side CPUs because their whole point is from a consumer professional level and from a professional editing level, and that's where Apple is targeting, is consumer and high-end professionals, not servers. I think if Apple were to get in server size, they would completely lose. They don't have a chance. Intel and AMD have had many more years in making it, but Apple just figured out a way to make their CPUs into a beast. So this is the radiator and the actual coolant that comes with the CPU itself. So I'm excited. And again, I don't know how. Oh, okay. Okay, so the weight is the box. The weight is the box. This shit heavy. Who designed this? Who made the box heavier than the actual? This is lighter than the fucking box. Asus. I understand that, like, you guys care about packaging and, like, luxurious stuff. But when you make the box heavier than the actual product itself, something is going on. I don't know if you're trying to lie to your customers about the actual weight of the product or deceive them, but, like, guarantee the box is very heavy. It is outlandishly heavy. Why? I don't know. I didn't design this product. This is a cool feature, actually. I'm not gonna take this off and keep this on. Okay, y'all kind of went overkill with this Asus. It's not a bad thing. I support it. When you're paying upwards of $300, $400, $500 for a radiator, you expect this kind of luxurious bullshit thing that no one really cares about unless you care about the details, and these are small details. Okay, so this here, you guys can see, says Vogue. You know what that's on there? That's thermal paste. Fucking thermal paste. That Asus just had 3D, that Asus just randomly slapped their logo on there and just be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna slap the thermal paste on the actual radiator coolant itself. That's pretty cool. I'm sorry, but that's fucking trippy as fuck. Another thing is it moves. This actually moves because of RAM compatibility. This is massive. Like, I want to say it's probably one of the biggest, like, coolants to this day. Now, the size, the actual coolant itself on here is not the biggest. The Asus Ryogen is actually bigger than this. Performance is better than this, but it's also like $500. But the coolant is only about 3 to 4 degrees Celsius difference, so I'm not paying $100 extra for that. Now, could it crush? No. Could it help with server CPUs? 100%. Buy it if you have a fucking server CPU. You know, AMD Ryzen. Oh, I don't even know the fucking server CPUs anymore because I'm completely lost on them. What content coolant substance goes in the coolant chamber? So they usually will mix it with actual like water, and then they'll add a radiator like mixture into it, so it doesn't corrode. But because these are not made out of metal, we're not really too worried about the actual like coolant mixing and corroding with oxygen and copper. This is copper plated, and copper and nickel don't actually mix well together, so you gotta be careful when you're actually building your own coolant like homemade. When you get a actual radiator from Asus or like other companies that sell them, they are well aware what chemicals. This is actually, I believe, it might be copper. I don't know. I don't think it's aluminum. It might be copper. Aluminum would not have that shine finish unless they finished it with painting or did a sublime for this unit, but I can't imagine they would do that. Usually if they're going to show off something of this price, they'll keep the actual like the actual metal, what it's actually meant with. And so this is cool. So one of the cool things that they recently did was make fans. So these are fans that have magnets and they're attached to magnetic. Instead of having each individual RGB wire, they actually have metal in between the connectors that actually allow them to each light up together. So this is the newer fans that came out in 2024. I see 2024 when they did this, and so this is one of those fans that did that. So each tubes actually move freely, so you can actually rotate these and actually change the angle that you want to how you want it to be located in your motherboard. So cool. Again, Asus kind of went overkill in applying the thermal base and the design, but really cool. Hi Mandy, welcome to the stream. Welcome. No, you don't have to change the coolant. This is all in one design, and it's not meant to be changed ever. The downside of this, unlike your, when you actually, unlike full towers versus AIOs, which is this, versus pre-built like custom coolant, like custom coolers, if this breaks, you have to buy a new one. To my knowledge, there is no port drain on this because it's closed loop. So they don't have a port drain closure on here. And so when it breaks, you gotta get a new one. Am I a coconut? Oh, that song I played it for my friends. They loved it. They loved the content. Absolutely loved it. Now this fin density is much tighter, and I'm talking about fin density regarding to the actual fin displacement here. It's so much tighter than fin density of my other AIO. So much tighter, like crazy tight. Like you can rub your hands on it and it's very tight. You shouldn't, because oil and stuff, but you shouldn't actually be touching this top plate, but it's fine. And this is going to be a pull configuration, so it's going to be pulling the air through the radiator, or no, pushing the air, pushing this way. So when they do it, they have the fans pushing through the radiator as it cool the radiator, and then it will have cool water come through. So pretty cool, right? So I'm gonna set this back in the box. We're done with that. That took a whole 30 minutes explaining, and it's kind of overkill. I don't think most consumers need this. I got it because it's just, really nice. When I build computers, this is my this is my third most expensive computer. So my first one was an i9 9900K, had 64 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3080 at that time, and GT, yeah, it had a 3080 at the time because I gave my GPU, my other build to old friend. I'm not in contact anymore. And so that was my first overkill build. That one cost me about $3,000. Um, and yeah, man, memories, good memories, not bad. So that was my first $3,000 build, and then I one upped it by getting my first 16 core 32 thread Ryzen 9 5950X. This computer has been a trooper, but my mistake with that one had to deal with that I didn't have a UPS, so I spent $600 in my budget and bought me a really cool UPS. So yeah. Now my old computer, my old computer, this one that you guys are gonna see. Ooh, I'm just gonna do this. This one that you're gonna see. I had this since 2021. So 5 years? That's not bad. Now, of that $5,000, it's like $5,500 that I spent, I still have my NVMEs, I still have my hard drives, I still have my cooling fans, and I still have the case. And I'm hoping to have the power supply. But we're going to test that in a hot minute, as soon as I throw away the trash. And we are going to unbox the next thing. Now, I'm hoping, I really am, hoping. This is heavier than the CPU, the radiator. Much heavier. Is there weight on this? There's not. This is the motherboard. This is the most you know, I never thought I'd spend $1,200 on a motherboard, right? You never think that you're like, oh, that's my money. But my first motherboard that I had was Asus ROG Strix Z270. That's my first motherboard. That cost me $240. $240. Now keep that in mind. This is back in 2017 when I had an i9 9900K. Very nice motherboard. Very nice. And I ended up upgrading to my new motherboard, which I've had that thing since 2020. I've had that for 6 years. And that one cost me $800. So I went out of the way. This is not good. This is bad. No idea how bad this is. Very free. So this motherboard costs more than what I paid for my 3090. More than the CPU itself. Now that won't be the case when I upgrade the CPU to the new AMD CPU that comes out, and this motherboard supports that. This is the 870E edition. Now, I don't know about the 870, but the 870E edition should have the latest support and everything. This just came out. They have the date on it. 2026. 2026. 2006? I don't know. But this thing seems heavy. Alright, you're ready for this? Likey! Hi, Cherry Bomb, welcome. I appreciate it, thank you. It's very vibrant. I just had my hair redone 2 weeks ago. This motherboard is heavy. Okay? You have no idea. This has Dolby Atmos. This has Dolby Atmos built into it. Dolby Atmos. Name me a motherboard. Last time You saw a motherboard that has fucking Dolby Atmos for it. um, I'm gonna show you the back. This has AI. This is 100% AI related because AI was a big thing and Asus wanted to push AI. Asus Aura Sync, same thing's been going on since 20. Oh, Asus Aura Sync's been around for 2015. It's been around for over 10 years. Very good software, by the way. Never had an issue with it. Beautiful. Wi-Fi 7. Dolby Atmos. I guess for the audio part, it has Dolby Atmos for the headphones. So that means I don't need my $700 mixer. No, my mixer is still way better than what this has. ARGB Gen 2. What is ARGB Gen 2? Powered by rsync. Gamers first. Alright, that's for the GPU part. CEO Innovations, as it should. This was the motherboard that everyone talked about for a good reason. This box is heavy. I have no idea what this is. Where's in this? We're gonna find out. My name is Likey, by the way. I'm Likey. I'm not gonna give you my real name. If you watch a few of my streams, I give you guys my first name. The box design is Stormwater. The box design is gorgeous. Very minimalistic, very straight to the point, and is very, very white. Gaming motherboard! This is meant for people that do extreme overclocking. I'll explain why later. I actually watched the videos on this. I watched one video and I'll have to figure that out. So when you open up, you're presented with exclusive stuff. Right? Outlandish. So there is a specific criteria that I gotta figure out how this works regarding to GPU because this is a brand new feature and Asus new innovation technology with the GPU. So I struggled getting my GPU out right because of you push down with the thing, and because the GPU is too big, you have to actually have a knife and push it down, and I scratched my GPU thing a bit. Luckily, it's not the GPU part socket, so we're good. Wow, they really like this is the phone. That's the fucking phone. Like it's so pretty. When you're paying $800 plus for even $600, it's nice. But when you're paying for a motherboard that's $1,000 plus, you're near the details where every single thing matters. We're talking about the lighting, the packaging material, the size of the box, the design of the box, the design of the logo. Everything matters. You're not buying just the motherboard. You're buying the experience. This is what we're talking about when going to Michelin stars or 5-star restaurants. You're paying for the experience. It's not just some food that you're eating. It's not just, going to a $1,000 resort and be like, oh, we're paying because we have money. It's experience. Everything matters. Everything is super important, and all these little details matter. And Asus nailed it. Oh, it's actually like, now this you can actually just pick up and touch normal, and oh, by the way, this has anti-static on the bottom. Don't know why, kind of unnecessary, but it's an extra protective layer, and so it is anti-static. This is the motherboard. This is like This is like at least 10 pounds. Bear in mind, for this motherboard specifically, you will not want to make sure you miss any screws on this. You miss any screws, this motherboard will fall out of the case. This is not this you have to have every single screw on this correctly in here. One of the things they added was a thicker PCB on this. PCB refers to the actual layering of the internal components that actually attach to the motherboard and make everything function. Without PCB, you just have wire like random no traces and stuff. So they made this, was it 8 layers? Very thick. So bending this is very difficult. Good luck. Not saying that you can't, but it's very hard. So I'm gonna put this in here. So, and we'll talk about the cool features. Now, if I didn't do research on stuff like this, I'd be stupid. I'd be very stupid. So unless I actually don't know what they are. Wow! That's a bit overkill. Alright, I'll explain that later. I'm in and out using is this a new, yes, this motherboard. Hi Mash, Meso, hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, this motherboard just came out this year. Literally like 3 months ago. 3 months. Now, Asus teased it in January of 2026 with their Computex, and they were like, they're releasing it. And I was like, ooh! So I knew I wanted this motherboard because I wanted to make sure that I had the latest motherboard, and we have confirmation from Intel and AMD that their Glacier series will be compatible with the current new CPU lineups, which is cool, really fucking cool. Oh no! I'm so sorry to hear that. Now, the weight is still really heavy. This is all the accessories. We're gonna get into the accessories here now. I mean, it is, so this design is the exact same as the Rogue Extreme Maximus motherboard, which is the one I have. But it's a bit more bigger and elegant and a little extreme. So this is all the accessories. Nothing else. These are every accessory. It's massive. So we'll start off with the first one. This may be a few hour stream. I don't know. I still gotta test this. And interesting. Oh, you can just take out the whole thing. I want to keep the box. I want to keep the box for memory's sake, because the box is really nice. It's a very nice box. And so I'm gonna put this back. There you go. This is a very nice box. I like it. I like keeping it for memory's sakes. I have my other motherboard boxes and the GPUs and stuff like that. So this is the accessory part. So I don't know what each one has in them. So we'll start off with the first one, and we'll just show you guys as we go through. What do you even plan to do with this, and how would you afford it, or how did you afford? I put my credit card, and so it's gonna take me a year to pay all this off because I have other bills that I got to pay. Well, this part. So this first one relates. Oh, this is the heat spreaders. So these are backup spreaders for your thermal pads for M.2s, and Asus gave you 7 M.2 slots. 7, not 3, not 4, but 7. Keep in mind, you're paying $1,200 just for the motherboard. This M.2 rubber standoff, so this helps with this is a rubber gasket for the standoff. They gave you several of these. More thermal pads for the M.2s. They gave you a lot. Oh my god. Okay, so this is the classic Asus thing here. So the local thing, and I have like several of these actually. So more in that two heat spreaders. Don't have from the two. These are for different sizes, and this M.2 Q slides. So if your Q slides break, they give you. So these are extras. I believe these are pre-installed for you. I could be wrong. This is one of the most helpful things I've actually found out with the high-end motherboards is these, and even lower-end motherboards that come up with them. So this is your power switch for your computer power and your LEDs for your hard drives. Reset ground and oh, they changed this a bit. Oh, because the other one is a bit different on that motherboards. Interesting. They changed it up a bit. So oh, here we go. Ground power. And this is your reset ground and hard drive. Okay, they didn't change it, and I don't know what NC means. So it's actually very helpful for you connect it and you can just plug it all in one shot. Instead of struggling, because a lot of people struggle with that. More LEDs. So we're gonna put this back. And I have to actually read up the manual. So that's why I don't like do any like streaming until Wednesday, because I gotta read up on this and figure out how I want to build this stuff and figure out everything regarding this. So it's gonna be my most complicated build. It's not as complicated primarily because I'll have actually less fan connectors. When I showed you guys that radiator, I only have one wire with two wires, one for RGB and one for the actual fan controller. My other fans have connectors for those, so I'm only gonna be having like 5 wires, less than I currently have. Way less, which is cool. This, I don't know what this is. I have no. Oh, these are the. Oh, okay. Oh, this is the number. This okay. So this motherboard is so expensive. Acer's like, yeah, we're gonna give you a dedicated badge regarding to the model number that the motherboard that we built. This is their 16,933 third motherboard that they did. And is it stupid? No. Again, when you're paying for something that is this expensive, nothing is dumb. But this is a bottle opener. Opens bottles. Metal bottle opener, bro. This is the card that actually gives you. This is the number for that motherboard, and that's how many motherboards they've built so far regardless. And I'm the 16,000th one. Oh, the fans, that's the radiator I showed you guys the beginning of the video, about 30 minutes in the beginning. So when purple is his favorite, yeah, purple is my favorite. Yes, I love purple. Hi, the real proxy chat, welcome to the stream. Hi. Who are your pronouns? Limited edition. Pronouns is a he, and I'm a pup. Bark. And I'm a big tech nerd. So, these are RGB extenders. So you can tell they're for specifically RGB because of the pin layouts on these, and they're for the connectors for your RGB headers. Now there's a lot. Now this one is different because it looks like it's a RGB splitter, which it is. It's a triple RGB splitter for your cables, which is actually, I don't have one. ARGB, sorry, ARGB. RGB is different from ARGB because ARGB has more controls and higher voltage regulation for it. So stuff that you don't really need to know care about. This is... I don't actually know what this is. Manual. I have to look up in manual what these are, but they're magnets for something. I'm a he. I look like Markiplier. God, I wish. Markiplier is cute. Markiplier is cute. Oh, this is your Wi-Fi. This is for your Wi-Fi. Now, they did something different, and I'll explain to you guys what I mean by different regarding to the Wi-Fi controller. On the motherboard, your typical Wi-Fi is screws in. You've got to actually screw it in. This time, it looks like it's a pin-in connector where you can actually just plug it in directly without having to screw it in. So to try and make it as tool as possible, the least amount of movement as possible, and like this is fucking nice. I mean, it's plastic, but how they did the design and the pin layouts and how they did the actual connectors itself, it's very nice. I'll probably end up using it, to be honest, because it will give me range. Now, I don't have Wi-Fi 7. I don't. And so, holy moly! Hi, welcome to the stream. How you doing? Like when Mark had red hair. Yeah, Mark had red hair. So, oh, these are for your fans. No, these for your 3-pin. Oh no, these are for your 4-pin fan. Oh, okay. So I'm used to the ones because this is a triple connect. Okay, so this is what I was right. All right. So this is a 4-pin. This has a 3-pin, and then this had. What the fuck? Okay, these are for your fans. Specifically fans. A 3-pin, 3-pin, and a 4-pin. They got daisy chain fans, so that helps. So we can just daisy chain them. Now, the downside of having a 3-pin is it doesn't have PWM, meaning power watt management system. So it's easier if you have a 4-pin, but because they don't have enough power support for these cables, that's why they only have one 4-pin layout for the fan headers. So that's why. You can still control your fans, but there's different ways of controlling it. So it's not as efficient, I guess. You know what I'm saying? These, SATA connectors. I don't need more, but these are nice. They have locking mechanisms. So these are SATA connectors for your hard drives and your SSDs. Not your NVMe's or PCIe SSDs, which are different. So it's nice they include them, and they're braided. This is I hope the manual is bigger than this. I really do. Oh, this is a quick start guide. I was like, I know for a fact Asus includes a bigger manual. There's no way. This is the quick start guide. The quick start guide. This came in 2025. Okay, still January, whatever. Quick start guide is fucking massive. Like, okay, so it's like 11 steps. Basic 101 computer troubleshoot building guides. So pretty cool actually. So I got M2 quick release, which I'll show you on the motherboard. And all of these are actually magnetic, so all of them just come off. Ooh! Oh, that's what they're for? Maybe? These are backups. Okay, so I figured out what they're for. In case for some reason you lose the magnets, that's what these are for. These are I believe magnets to replace those. Maybe. Could be wrong. Oh, they're so cute. Look at the little guy. Look at the little devil. That's so cute. Prepare the components so you give you general CPU, memory, SSD, CPU cooler, SATA drive, graphics, power supply. Perfect. Install them at 2. memory, install CPU. So they're doing it in the correct order. You install the CPU, install the memory, then you install the SSDs, then you install the fan, and then you install the Wi-Fi, and then you install the radiator. It'll be last. So, and then you plug in everything in the GPU. GPU you can install in between steps. I usually install I always install the radiator and then I choose GPU and then plug everything in. So it depends on how you grew up installing components. It will vary from like what you're comfortable with installing. And so there's a lot of stickers here. Cool designs. So pretty cool stickers. You like backrooms? Nice, nice. I actually watched, who was it? Queso play backrooms. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm gonna put all these back because we are going to need not everything. We don't need everything, right? We don't need everything. But we're gonna need quite a bit of this stuff. So I'm gonna keep this as pristine as I can. So when we do the build on Wednesday, must have lived under a rock. What? Wait, what? Wait. Oh yeah, I went on FNAF 1 and 2, like, the fact how close to canon the animatronics look, but I'm kind of confused about the lore overall. I am behind the lore because I only got into FNAF because of Markiplier when it came out, and Markiplier got big into it, and Savage Sharon got exploded. Pretty cool. The process... Oh, they're making a third one. Yes, I do know about they're making a third FNAF. I do know about that. Whether they're actually doing it or not is still to be questioned. But they might be doing it, so. Poltergeist FNAF movie, and dude, Silence of the Lambs is really good. I've seen that several times. One of my favorites, actually. I love horror movies. I also love movies that end in where people die a lot and torture stuff, so. This is really cool. First motherboard to ever have this in existence. So I don't know if you guys remembered. Okay, none of you probably were alive, most likely. There are motherboards that had their own fan built into them, right? And their fan would be actually facing this way, right? We're talking about my old motherboards from the 2000s. From 2000 to 2014. No, before 2000, from 2000 to 2012, they had fans actually built in on this side to cool the part of the motherboard to give it more cooling, and it worked. It's a pretty cool idea, pretty ingenious having pre-built fan. But the downside is those fans failed a lot. And so, yeah. One of the cool things about this is if it fails, you can get it replaced by Asus. Cool news is it's magnetic and it's way more durable than your typical fan. By far. Now this has a 4-pin and it's magnetically attached through here, and to my knowledge, it goes. Last time I checked, it goes over your like here somewhere. Goes over here somewhere. This comes off, by the way, is all magnetic. Every single piece is just all about magnets, tools, and so this is just, they're just showpiecing it all. Everything's toolless. Asus is just like really showpiecing everything. It's just incredible. I'm gonna take all these off real quick for you guys, just to show you guys what the bare bones look like. These are made out of aluminum. Solid, thick aluminum. So, they didn't cheap out on it. These are not plain made of plastic. None of this stuff is made of plastic. Part of it is, this is This is nice. Okay. This is for the GPU. To lock the GPU in place. This is what they're talking about, locking the GPU in place. The first second. Okay, that's pretty fucking cool. Alright, unlocked and then you lock. Okay, gotcha. That's pretty simple. So when we like take everything off, like I'm talking about all this piece. Just removing everything. And does this come off? Let me keep this on. I'll show you this later. We're left with this. Your typical, you know, bare bone motherboard. Now, it's not typical at all. This thing is still hella crazy, but it doesn't look as nice, and it's not as flashy. So I'm trying to figure out like where this actually goes. Now I'm thinking about it. This is, and some of these I don't know what they do. This is for overclocking. This is for changing the GPU parts. Found it. Okay. So this goes on here like this. You can, only goes one way. Really fucking nice. And it just looks like that. So when you're building a case, you want to make sure it's a very deep case for this part. So it's really nice. I'm gonna put everything back together, and yeah. So, like I said, really nice motherboard. Oops. I did it wrong. I did it wrong. My bad. Whoops. Whoops. I did it wrong, guys. I'm working on the same thing. Electro, we working. It's a horror movie with Warwick. How did we go from talking about Likey looking like Markiplier to talking about horror movies? Someone brought up they liked horror movies and Poltergeist, and they talked about FNAF. And then I just went along with it. So I don't mind. I think the coolest innovation in the motherboard industry is making it from using tools to almost toolless. Part of the stuff like the Astro screws, I've been doing PC building for God, almost 10 years. So and going from that to, you know, having to use screwdrivers for everything to not screwdrivers is pretty cool, actually. Really cool, actually. Really cool. And we're back to this. This isn't on either way for some reason. No, it's I think it's on. Pretty sure it's on. Looks like it's on. Is it on? Am I tripping? Yeah, that's on. So, really nice piece. And you can actually take. Yeah, you gotta unscrew the back plate. I'm not gonna unscrew this part because this is a protective thing and it prevents the motherboard from being scratched and damaged. I also want to keep this on as much as possible. There are a few things that you can actually do if you really cared about keeping this on. You can have right angles and actually have right angles adapters for this. So I mentioned to you guys on this motherboard the SATA connectors, and I want to say they're right angles. They are right angles for this purpose. So when we undo this, I actually have blue ones. And just use white. So when we actually build it, I'm probably gonna use the white ones, maybe the blue ones because they match. But you take this part off, and we have 4 of them. You plug this in right here. You can then put this back on, and it hides it. Really, really nice. And you can actually get right angles for all your other USB connectors. USB Type 2.0, USB 3.0, the other USB headers. They can all be right angles. Um, they even have right angle fan connectors. Now, I don't know what happened to this one, why it's actually not straight. I don't know. That's a bit concerning. This is a rad fan for that. I'm looking at all the little details. Um, and I'm like, ooh, this actually comes out, and you can swap the pin only on this one. I'm not gonna do it because there's a reason that part of it has the actual pin in there, and so yeah, this is beautiful. How you just did this is gorgeous. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9. Yeah, they have 9 PCB layouts for this. So, yeah. So when you have an EATX, you need 9 of them. The pins, because if you don't have them, you'll end up messing up the motherboard. So moving on, I'm gonna put this back, and I'm gonna put this fan back, and I'm gonna put this on. We're gonna cover this, and we're gonna cover this, and they have to give you enough for everything, so you don't actually have to buy yourself. Again, when you're spending $1,200+ on stuff like this, even $800, they're gonna provide you everything. So this is really cool. This is new. This is really, really cool. This is your SATA. It's part of the SATA. And I wonder if it's toolless. It is. Oh, it is! Is it? I've never explored this, but it might actually be toolless. Okay. That's fucking cool. Okay. That's really fucking cool. This is fucking toolless. You can just take this apart, put it in here, put your SATA drive in here. Your controllers are right there, different controllers. Again, fully fucking toolless. Holy shit, that's cool as fuck. My other ones are not tools. You guys use screws. That's cool as fuck. And it locks in place. Super, super simple. Wow. Talk about a gorgeous design just for your SATA drives. Fucking gorgeous. Yes, but wait, wasn't Montclair supposed to be in FNAF? I don't know. Yes, but he was working on oh yeah, at the time. Yes, yeah. I think Markiplier got offered to do FNAF 3 maybe. I don't know. Something in the news I heard about that, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not. I would say something about FNAF. This is cool. Toolless. I love it when it's toolless. It's the best. The best thing that you can do is make toolless stuff because no one likes to deal with screws. I just realized I haven't found any screws in this, so that's cool. This is the first motherboard that I've experienced where it's got 0 screws. Usually motherboards will provide you some NVMe and some screws and stuff. This is the other one. Now, is this tools too? Oh my god, it is. So I have something like this. I do. Now the one I have is actually meant for a 4-lane, means 4 NVMe's. This is for 2. So really, really, really nice. It's just they thought of everything. The heat. This is just. This is like so thick. The aluminum, it's outlandishly. It's just crazy thick. How crazy how thick it is. I mean, outlandish. So try and get this back in. So maybe toolless, but like, how do you get this back in? I don't actually know. I took it apart. Like, I don't know. Oh, it's oh, it's back in. Oh, it's that simple. Okay, good to know. I think another two YouTuber played the taxi driver in FNAF. Yeah, Markiplier is the number one content creator known for FNAF. There's no other content creators that beat in Markiplier and FNAF knowledge. He's played more FNAF. That's how his channel grew because of FNAF. This is just so beautiful. I mean, it's just incredible what Asus did with the motherboard, making everything tools, making everything magnetically attached, everything seamlessly flow into the other ones. I see why this is worth what you're paying for. The value that you get out of this is a lot. The design is wild. It's never been done before, and Asus went to the extreme experimenting and actually building something from the ground. This is not something that anyone else is gonna do. No one's gonna attempt this. Not anytime. I don't like. I know Gigabyte has their crazy, 1,000 lineup, but toolless motherboard completely. The only things that you have that for these are your M.2 are your screws. That's all you need. And that came with the actual case. But absolutely nothing here you need requires tools. Now this is another thing. This is another thing why overkill. So you know how PCI, I don't know if you guys know this, but you know how PCIe 5s can get really, really hot. We're talking about upwards of 70 to 80 degrees. And at that point, you can degrade your SSD, NVMe, PCIe's, NVMe, sorry. PCIe Gen 5 NVMe's. And that's dangerous. So Asus thought of that and went up and made a fucking 3D vapor chamber cooler. It's just a block vapor chamber. And like, this is gorgeous. They have heat spreader on the bottom here, copper here that goes here, and then they have a heat pipe that goes in here, actually a separate heat pipe to dissipate the heat. And all that for your storage. Is that overkill? Not really. Not when we're talking about something that's like at that level when it can generate 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. Because PCIe Gen 5, while they're nice, MatPat in it too. I don't know. Thank you so much, Tan. I call you Tat. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. No, I don't think it's overkill. I think they over-engineered it a bit. And it's a really, really beautiful piece, and I'm trying to figure out how to get this back in. Oh, there you go. It's just so simple and elegant. Like what? It's so simple and elegant. The piece that I showed you guys on this motherboard over here, that one piece is a connector that specifically connects into here on this motherboard. So this looks like a memory RAM thing, but it's not. They have actually different pin layouts, and they have an extra one back here. And you just push this back, and oh, this goes this way, and it slides right into that. Somehow. I promise I'm not gonna break it. So, there we go. That slides into that. And that's your storage. Now, this, to my knowledge, is connected to your CPU. And then the other parts are connected to the actual motherboard memory part. So depending on where you want the storage, will depend on the PCIe lane output and the speeds and all that stuff. So, but that's stuff that we gotta explore later. What I want to do right now is do a power test to see if my power supply is gonna work or not. If it doesn't work, meaning that the motherboard does not light up, then I need a new power supply. I'm thinking about buying Asus anyway, so if it so let's wish me luck and hoping that it just works. If it doesn't work, I'll buy it on Amazon, charge my credit card, and I'll buy the new Asus 1200 watt power supply. Cause I already spent $4,500. Might as well just do with it. A bit disappointing, but anyway. Am I doing this wrong? Okay, that's back on. So I'm gonna back this up a bit. Voice, Toy, Bonnie, and FNAF 2. I didn't know that. And this is my old computer, and I have to figure out how to get the power supply out. You gotta figure it out. This case is nice. It's really, really nice case. Really, really nice. The motherboard actually has dual 10 gigabytes, and so, but all I need is one cable, and that's this cable to connect to my motherboard. And we're gonna go ahead and connect it real quick and see if it turns on. If it doesn't, then the power supply is shot. Now, this power supply I paid like $200 some for, so yeah. I'm gonna flip it on the other side. Yes, you can handle this way, it's fine. Stop telling me how to do stuff. And I'm hoping, I really, really am hoping that this just powers on. So if it doesn't, then we have an issue. That's not good. That's not good. That's really bad. The power supply is shot. Okay. Well. Wow. This, wow. That's bad. It's connected, right? Yeah. So that's what I wanted to see. So I'm gonna go by well, I guess I don't need to worry about taking this apart. Damn. So there was an error code that was a 00 on the Asus motherboard. So if I turn this on, I don't even need to power this on because this would have just turned it on. Fancy motherboards have their own auto power switch, and so you push the button on here and it just turns it on. There's no power, there's no sound, there's nothing from this, meaning it's completely shot and broken. And so I had custom cables for this. I spent $100 on that, and I spent another $250 on power supply. So that's it wasn't just the motherboard that broke, but I'm wondering if the motherboard actually can work if I got a new power supply and the CPU works. If the motherboard still works and the CPU still works, then I have two systems. I already invested $4,000 on this, and I can just reuse it and get new, make the other system. So, thank you, Jonathan. And so, what's gonna happen? I'll go ahead and order the Asus ROG, the newest one that came out, and yeah. That sucks. Like you can't fix this. The entire thing just got burnt out, unfortunately, because I didn't have a UPS, and if I had a UPS or some sort of a ground system that would transfer to that and cause less damage, I could have avoided this and prevented a loss. But because I think this entire thing, I saw that spark on the motherboard. That sucks. It really sucks. I'm a bit mad about that. I'm a bit pissed. And it happens. Mistakes happen. This is just a big loss in my computer stuff. And so I'm still assessing the damage. I don't know how far the damage is. I don't know if the GPU got damaged. I don't the NVMEs that I have did not get damaged. All three NVMEs work. I can't confirm. I just have to figure out one of those NVMEs to figure out their OS. That's not that big because the other two NVMEs work fine. I don't know about the hard drives, but two of them were offline, and so I should be fine. Those are the two 12 terabyte ones, and I got one 8 terabyte one, and I got one 6 terabyte one, so we'll see how that works. And so, yeah. But I was gonna upgrade anyway. So I'll see you guys next time. Next time, I'll have a new power supply, and we'll start the build on Wednesday. And wish me good luck for the build. I probably won't be wearing my fursuit, by the way, because I want to make sure that this all goes perfect and beautiful. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, y'all. Thank you all for joining and watching me. See you guys next time.